Hey everyone, so today's video is going to be a two-parter. The first is we're going to be discussing Foody, so a little bit of a showcase here. And then we're following up on my Rift of Chaos 3 teams. There were some comments, and I'm just going to follow up on them to show that some of the comments might be mistaken or misunderstood or whatever. So we are going to do that. But first, let's talk about Foody because it kind of pertains to Rift of Chaos 3 anyway. So his trait, or her trait, says at the start of the turn, randomly transfers one negative effect from one team member to a random enemy. This is really strong. There's a lot of really detrimental negative effects out there, especially from bosses. You know, the Rift of Chaos Water Boss puts up that frozen seal or freeze, which can completely ruin a run. There's bombs. There's also this kind of like toxic death debuff that a Guild versus Environment Dark mini boss puts up on people, and Foody is like integral to being able to play against that mini boss. And it's because of this trait that makes Foody so good. So being able to remove the negative effect from a team member is really good. And whenever you're dealing with bosses, you don't have to worry about the randomization. Now, the thing is, whenever it's ascended, it transfers a negative effect from a random team member, so this restoring 30% health is good, but you can't really target anything, which is kind of a bummer. But still, very strong trait. Also has a basic where it deals 130% damage and applies attack down, and if they have attack down, it applies attack down too. So, because it's for 2 turns, you know, if you ever get a hero that does, you know, bonus attacks or anything like that, like a Flarence, where he's attacking twice, Foody can actually apply attack down 2 on his basic, which is pretty strong, and also very good for Rift of Chaos bosses. You can even use Foody in Rift of Chaos Earth, which I will show a video of. So, really good basic. And then his special ability says restores 35% of max health for an ally and removes a negative effect on them. So more removal of negative effects. And then it says if one or more negative effects are removed, it immediately casts this skill again on another random ally. So really strong S2 as well. And it's on a 3-turn cooldown, so that's really good for bombs. You're really looking for 3-turn cooldowns on bomb removal for Rift of Chaos, and he fits the bill there perfectly. And then his ultimate is also on a 3-turn cooldown, and it says heals all members by 30% of their max health and removes a negative effect on each, and then it applies 3 stacks of block to them. This is huge. He does need to be booked to get that 3rd stack of block, but Foody is a fantastic book target. Mine is fully booked, 15 of 15. So that is his kit. Right now, I'm just running him on speed set because he's primarily a Rift of Chaos Water Boss build. And I'm running him with Ackerly. So that's why these stats are the way they are. So the health, it's kind of important along with the defense because he barely survives. And that's all you need. You need him to just survive. So his health is 32,000, right under 33. And it's really close to Ackerly. He does not want to be the max health target in Rift of Chaos Water because he is not of a positive element. So this will really hurt your team composition if he has higher health than Ackerly. But then he also has some pretty good defense, almost a little over 2,300. The speed is 236. This isn't super important as long as he is faster than Ackerly in the Rift of Chaos Water team. That's all that matters. And then his focus needs to be high enough to actually transfer the debuff. So the Water Boss has a frozen seal debuff, and that reduces damage taken. So if you can transfer that debuff back onto the boss, your team will take less damage. So that is a really strong effect that you want to transfer back. And I didn't mention this when I was talking about the trait, but he does need focus to transfer stuff back. So that's why you have to build him with enough focus. Because I'm running Ackerly, he does not need resistance, because the immunity buff from Ackerly is up long enough before the boss dies for Foody to not need any resistance. So that is Foody. It's just a quick rundown of his skills, how I have him geared. He does have damage received from water, which is pretty important for him to survive. He also has some additional things for his healing effects, and then he just has random health. So not very gear intensive, obviously, if you have him booked, and I also have him ascended 2, so on the Ascension 1 he does get additional health, which is really important. A lot of people sometimes, when they are running a A0 Foody in their water comp and then they ascend their Foody, a lot of people don't realize that his health will go above Ackerly and then the runs will fail, and they don't know why. It's because Foody's health is higher than Ackerly. So anyway, that's Foody. Now I'm going to show you some teams in Rift of Chaos where he's utilized. I'm going to show a Rift of Chaos Earth team, and then my traditional Rift of Chaos Water Boss. And then also Foody being a key part in Rift of Chaos Water if you don't have Aaron, which is a limited time unit from the Attack on Titan collaboration last year. So that was one of the things that was brought up in the Rift of Chaos 3 team video. And we'll talk about that more whenever we get into the clips. So without further ado, let's get into the clips. Okay, so this first one is Rift of Chaos 3 with Foody. Now this is if you don't have Mauricio. Obviously the Team B here, I'm just showing Team A. But if you have a Jocasta, which is what we're going to follow up on from Rift of Chaos 3's video, you can slot her in there. So this top team is with Flaming Milo, who's booked, and then Foody to help with surviving instead of a Jocasta or a Mauricio. So I'll show you that. The reason why this works is because Flaming Milo puts up the damage down 2 on the boss, and then along with Foody's blocks, Foody is able to provide enough damage mitigation to himself and the rest of the team, for your team to basically survive and then do enough damage. And because you have Foody in here on that 3-turn cooldown, he actually ends up removing the bombs. So yeah, he's a nice replacement for Jocasta. And if you have Mauricio, I mean, it's even better. You can put Mauricio in for Brand. So anyway, that's this team. I'm going to speed it up and, just show you that this works on Rift of Chaos 3 with Foody. So there you have it. The key to this composition is making sure Foody can survive that first big nuke and the following nukes after that. The thing is I have Flarence on Salvation set, so it kind of gets easier to survive as the fight goes on because you have that max health buff, from the Salvation set. So anyway, it is doable with Foody and Flaming Mila. She's just amazing in this slot. To really make Rift of Chaos 3 Earth Titan super easy. All right, on to the next clip. All right, so this is just your standard, Ackerly Aaron team, and I do have another team with Foody without Aaron, but I'm just showing here that these blocks end up giving you enough damage reduction along with the Frozen Seal debuff that Foody is pushing back on the boss. You can see it right under the number 10. It's got a ×3 and it's yellow on it. That's where you're getting your damage mitigation. So all of those things encompassed allow the rest of your team, other than this Santis, to actually survive. and then you just have enough damage mitigation to allow for the poisons to eventually knock this this water boss down. But you can see here that the the Aaron is like barely surviving, so that's where the blocks are really helpful. And then every turn, Ackerly is actually getting frozen, but because he's the only one getting frozen, Foody's trait ends up going in and removing it from him. So here he gets frozen, and then at the beginning of the turn, Foody gets the freeze removed. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. Really standard composition. You know, it's the most used one, but like I said, I got one at the end of this video here to show you that there's other compositions. But let's finish this one out, and then we're going to talk about a follow-up to Rift of Chaos 3's video. So right here, the boss is about to die. We just need Ackerly or Gangello to survive, and he's going to go down. So finish this here any day now, and voila, and all thanks to Foody. All right, now follow-ups from Rift of Chaos 3. All right, so this comment comes from Philip, where he says, "Sure, you don't have to book. Are you sure you don't have to book Mauricio if you just have a flaming Mila? Your book Gavin did a lot of damage too, and I'm not sure an A5 Rosalai could kill the Earth Titan before the bombs went off. So I'm showing you proof that right now, so this is Rift of Chaos 3, I don't have anyone in here other than the core 4, which is Clarence, Zitlin, Mauricio, and Flaming Mila. And you're going to see that this team still wins. I'm going to speed this up right towards the end, where the second set of bombs comes up, and because Mauricio isn't on a 3-turn cooldown, he won't remove it, but you still survive all the bombs. So yeah, I'll be right back. Alright, so the second set of bombs are up, and Mauricio isn't going to cleanse these, but because his shields are actually so fat, you're going to see these bombs go off, everyone's going to get stunned, and every single person will survive. It's pretty amazing. So yeah, you just need a Flaming Mila booked, you know, for the damage, and the Mauricio just saves you from the bombs. So you don't even need to kill him, you know, before the second set of bombs. You just need to kill him before round 15, where he gets Berserk. And even then, you might be able to survive for a round or two. This duo is just really, really cool. So there you go, Philip. Yep, you can do it just with those 4 people. The Gavin did not matter. It just sped up the run, per se. So, yeah, I just wanted to show that to you guys, and thought it was pretty cool. So anyway, we're on to our next comment. So I actually can't find the comment. I think it was on Discord somewhere, but I can't find it. Anyway, people were asking, you know, if there's a team that can be used on Rift of Chaos 3 without Aaron A5. And there is, but it does require a booked Jocasta. But yeah, you just sub out the team that I showed in the other video, but sub in Jocasta, who's fully booked. And if she's fully booked, your team will eventually, you know, kill this boss. So you just bring in your poison team, the Gangello and the Santis, with the Ackerly and your Foody, who we just discussed, and you're all Gucci. So we're just going to fast forward to the end here and show you that it's doable. And then I'm getting out of here. All right, there you go. So team without A5 Aaron, featuring Foody, who was our featured hero today on Rift of Chaos 3 Water Boss. That's it for that. Now, one last follow-up on Kaysen from yesterday, from the Rift of Chaos 3 video. All right, so this question came from Cressetti. He wanted to know what the relics were on Kaysen, and he's right. So the thing is with this Rift of Chaos stuff, these bonuses really matter, especially for the light and dark. I hate how they do this, but because I have an A4 Zoltan, I have an additional 120% crit damage. And I tried to do this team with just an epic in here to do the 60%, and it did not work. I failed at like 10%. So I think one of two things needs to happen here. Poros needs to be A5 because he gets an additional 20% damage to all of your team. He goes from his trait from 30% damage to 50%. I think either that needs to happen, and even then that might not be enough. You might need like an A1. You might need like an A1 LD to get 75%, but yeah, this is a bummer. Oh, yeah, so either Poros A5, right, or Poros in resonance gear. So all three are in resonance. I'm guessing if this procced more, I'd probably get close, even with the epic as my celestial spire here. But yeah, that one is a bummer, and I wish I could help Cressetti, but the relics are not going to save you there. you need at least an LD, maybe A1, A2. I don't know what you got, or you do need your Poros A5 and probably in resonance set. But yeah, anyway, okay, that's all I got for you today. Hope you enjoyed. Catch you on the next one. See ya.